Hello, and thank you for taking the time to learn about preschool life skills, or PLS. This presentation introduces a practical, research-based approach for teaching foundational skills that help young children succeed socially, behaviorally, and emotionally in early learning environments. The Preschool Life Skills curriculum is grounded in work by Dr. Greg Hanley and numerous colleagues. Here's what we'll cover. First, we'll talk about what are preschool life skills. Then we'll look at why these skills are so important for young children. We'll also briefly review the research that supports PLS, and finally, we'll walk through how these skills can be taught in a way that fits naturally into a preschool schedule. So what is the Preschool Life Skills curriculum? It's a supplemental curriculum made up of a set of lessons to teach critical social interaction and classroom learning skills to young children. PLS complements your preschool curriculum. It does not replace your comprehensive curriculum. And it fits naturally into daily routines like your circle time, your transitions, meals, and free play without requiring separate instructional time. And PLS is most effective when it's used proactively to teach foundational skills to all the children, since it can prevent behaviors that interfere with learning before they arise. The curriculum includes 13 core skills, and they're grouped into 4 areas. The first group focuses on instruction following skills. These include responding to name and following both simple and multi-step directions. These are foundational classroom skills that support learning and engagement. The second group focuses on functional communication. These are skills like asking for help, requesting attention, and requesting materials from adults and peers. These skills give children useful ways to get their needs met. The third group is tolerance skills to help children learn to wait in various situations with both peers and adults. This might include waiting for a snack, waiting for a preferred toy to be available, or waiting to start an activity. The fourth group is friendship skills. These include behaviors such as saying thank you, sharing, acknowledging others, and comforting peers. These skills directly support positive peer relationships and a more positive social environment. So why is PLS important? Well, in the original study of PLS in 2007, Dr. Hanley and his colleagues worked with a group of preschoolers to learn these skills. The skills were taught to the entire class, and then situations were contrived to allow the children opportunities to practice the skills. So in the graph, you see the 13 different skills on the horizontal axis across the bottom, and the percentage of trials in which the skill was observed on the vertical axis. You can see how often each skill was occurring before the class-wide teaching program, which is represented by the black bars. The gray bars show the skills after teaching. So it's pretty clear from the graph that there was a major increase in the demonstration of the skills after teaching. This was a 400% increase in the 13 PLS skills, and other data showed a 70% decrease in problem behavior. And many other studies have followed in different settings with different populations of young children and showed similar positive results. So this research shows that proactively teaching skills can have a meaningful impact on both behavior and learning. Recent research has shown that PLS is effective for children with developmental disabilities specifically. In a 2019 study by Robeson and colleagues, children showed increases in all skills and reductions in problem behavior. So how do we teach these skills? Well, each skill can be introduced during circle time. The teacher models the skill and then gives each child an opportunity to practice with positive feedback and gentle correction so they can continue to learn each skill. So as an example, let's look at the skill of responding to name. The goal of this skill is to have each child respond yes when their name is called. They can indicate yes with a gesture, by pointing to a visual, using a device, or saying yes. So first, when we're teaching, tell the group that you'll be working on responding to their name. For example, when I call your name, stop what you're doing, look at me, and indicate yes. Obviously, when explaining PLS to children, you're going to adjust the language and use of visual supports to align with the children's learning needs. Second, model this with another adult or a cooperative child. Show the group of children how you call the teacher's name, Miss Holly. The other teacher will orient to the speaker and respond with yes, and feedback is then provided. And then third, practice with the children. Provide children with toys or an activity so their attention is diverted. And you're going to start in a small space so the adults are in close proximity to prompt if needed. And then call each child's name one at a time. Give immediate feedback to each child, either by acknowledging them when they respond correctly or giving a prompt to look and respond yes if it's an incorrect response or no response. And the lessons provide the steps for giving that specific feedback. Keep in mind that the goal is for the children to understand what is being asked of them and to receive many opportunities to practice their new skills. The focus is not compliance. It is learning these important skills for preschool and beyond. Some children might need many opportunities to practice, and that's okay. This approach is meant to build skills while also maintaining positive relationships and an inviting classroom environment. PLS lessons have been created for teachers to use when presenting each of the skills. These plans are designed to be user-friendly and consistent across lessons so all staff can implement them with confidence. And these can be found on the website. Each lesson lists the goal, what to say, how to respond to correct and incorrect responses, and how to collect simple data. So let's look a little bit closer at the feedback. For example, if you're implementing the skill of responding to name with a child, you could start off by saying, Charlie, and you wait for him to orient to you and respond yes. If he responds correctly, use the column on the left and say, great job listening and looking, or thank you for looking when I called your name, and allow Charlie to return to what he was doing. Remember to give behavior-specific praise so the child knows exactly what they're doing correctly. Now, if you say, Charlie, and he does not indicate yes, or he does not orient to you, you would proceed to the feedback under the column on the right. Remind Charlie of the expectation by saying, when I call your name, stop what you're doing, look at me, and respond yes. Let's try again. And you do this with a positive tone of voice. Then provide another opportunity for the child to practice. And the second time, if Charlie responds correctly, give the feedback in the left column. If Charlie responds incorrectly again, let him know that you're going to practice again later. On the data sheet, you will circle an I for a correct independent response or a P for an incorrect response or no response that required a prompt. One of the main strengths of this curriculum is that it's easy to embed into what you're already doing. Think of PLS as a set of mini lessons that fit naturally into daily routines rather than something extra that you need to carve out time for. After introducing a skill, it's important to provide many opportunities for practice throughout the day, ideally at least 5 learning opportunities per child. Teach during daily routines, for example, responding to name can be practiced during your meals, free play, transitions. These moments already exist and we're just adding in learning opportunities. Typically, each skill is taught for at least 2 days. This will vary by classroom age and children's learning needs. And after that, children continue practicing the skill across multiple settings over the next several days. This repetition helps build fluency and generalization. Once several skills have been taught, you can identify any skills that have not been mastered, either for the entire group or for individual children, and provide some booster sessions. This is easier to identify if you've taken data on each child's performance. You can then reteach these skills to solidify their ability to use the skill in a natural setting. All skills should be revisited whenever possible to support maintenance and long-term success. Teachers have shared that this is doable because many of these routines and moments already exist naturally in classrooms and playgroups. The key is being intentional about teaching the skills, creating opportunities for practice, and providing both positive and corrective feedback. Thank you for learning about preschool life skills. To learn more, review the PLS site and look at the PLS lessons, and you'll find more information such as practice scenarios, using the pre-teaching questionnaire, and collecting data.